TradeTheMBI.com. This is John Sports for the 21st. The gap down was bought up dramatically. Of course, the war footing continues, barring anything unusual. It's now a known quantity. Yes, they know the bombs are likely to start again. Will that cause a major distress? Not unless something unusual takes place, because they all know that they're able to do it now. The question is there going to be some kind of unique event that takes place with it? Otherwise, not really that significant. Actually, we should go through the readings. So MBI White, almost non-existent move right there. But any pickup is going to be a slight, downward pressure. So the fact that you're still extended already, and we have positive extremes that take us right back to here, somewhere in that 70-65 range, roughly. So it's just under 100 point potential. So it's reasonable, but I mean, you're still well above the 76%. And this is typical where you break out from a high range, you get a move, and then it comes back to test it. Only seen it like a billion times, so nothing new. The reality is, this is an inflation move. Everyone knows it's coming. It's being priced in. Okay, fine. The fact that oil really hasn't shifted a whole lot. This isn't a helpful range. The difference between being up here in the mid 80s or 100 is hardly any difference. Really, in order for there to be sustained economic growth from it to absorb it, you got to be down in that under 60 range, and that just is not in the cards anytime soon. Trump's convinced it is, but you got to end the conflict and then have a glut. And that's the only advantage. I don't know where the glut's going to come from unless they're going to maintain the release of Russian oil. They're going to somehow get the Iranians back on track and blah, blah, blah. It just gets to be an ongoing tale. This is very good news for the euro from that standpoint, because cheaper oil prices obviously help them, but this is part of that debasement of the dollar. They're trying to pressure Trump as much as they possible, but this, as we talked about, not a horrible thing, because it allows for more exports for U.S. products. So there's that. But they did lose all the money for the tariffs, starting to have to refund all that now. Gold is set for its pop. It just hasn't started at this particular stage yet. Give it some time. It's not going to be as much reactive to the news. Of course, the Bitcoin rise, we think, is just a continuation of players who want to transit the Strait of Hormuz are paying blackmail. Most likely, that looks like to be the major activity of it. It's not exactly super strong from a chart standpoint, though not a whole lot from a short interest at all. So basically, what we had was the fill of the positive extremes, hit that low, and bought it from there. It was just pretty much flat through most of the day. Intraday, it wasn't anything special. So the gap open was straight up. By the time everyone woke up anyway, it was already pretty close to net even, and then it was just a matter of playing back and forth in there and ending up green on the day, and then just a little bit of a push here in the after hours. So not a lot's changed from that standpoint. But where people are going to get surprised is if something goes sideways, and that's always the risk at this particular time. But still, where are you going to be other than in the market at this particular stage? You're not getting any return anywhere else, so it sort of doesn't leave you a choice. That's long and short of it for now. Anything relevant, I will put it on the team chat. Have a good one. Trade well.